you want to pay attention to profit margin. You want to see that it's positive. You want to pay attention to, you could pay attention to operating margin. You just want to see that these are positive. You don't want to see them negative. Return on assets. This is the return on their investments. You want to see that that's positive. Um, then you have revenue. Uh, this is a 4.59 billion dollar company. You want to see that be positive, preferably in the billions. If it's in the millions, it could still work, but you just want to see that they're bringing in revenue. Their EBITDA, which is the 853 million, this is what they would sell their company at, their value worth if they sold it today. So you want to see that be positive. And then this is like looking at their bank account basically. Their total cash that they have is 5.52 billion. You want to see that be positive, preferably in the billions. And then total debt, you want to see this be low compared to what they have total cash. It's 64 million here, so that compared to 7 billion is nothing. And then you want to see their operating cash flow, 1.88 billion, and then levered free cash flow, which is the cash that they don't have to spend any money on, 1.88 billion also.
What's operating cash flow?
Operating cash flow is the money they bring in from their day-to-day operations. So it seems like they don't have to spend any of it because they're sitting on all this total cash up here.
So one of them is the investor's money. The other one is the operating cash flow. Is anything their initial like startup money?
No, this is balance sheet is their bank account. Like if you were looking at your bank account, you have 7 billion sitting in your bank account. And then you look at your credit card, you have total debt 64 million. And then
The leverage free cash is like their savings.
yeah, this is their savings. And then say you had a business account and it's like this is what's sitting in my business account. Because ultimately this is what they're bringing in every year.
That's their safety net, kind of.
Yeah. Well, like, think of this as like, say you have a job. This is the money that's coming in from my job. Or say you have a business. This is the money that's coming in from my business to then add up to what this becomes.
And what do people like the EYL do? They just look at companies all day and look at this stuff?
Well, I don't really. That's what we were talking about.
Oh,
Like,
shit.
are they screening it themselves, just running through the top 100 or top 500 companies? Or do they have a screener inside Thinkorswim or their trading platform that tells them? Like, say you give I think this is how it works. You give the screener certain criteria, such as show me companies that are in the billions and that have a certain amount of cash flow with a certain amount of debt, and then it'll just pop up companies with similar statistics. But then once you see that, you want to see like at the chart now, is this company being undervalued or is it being overvalued right now? So if it's undervalued and you see that all this is positive, that means that it could be a good time to get in on a swing if you find support there on the charts. So that's what we're discussing right now. Like, how do you screen a company to know if it's a good swing trade or
Is this
not?
what you meant by fundamentals?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, because we haven't talked about this since like
Oh,
the
yeah.
pandemic.
Yeah.
And yeah, I needed it. I never even learned. Now that I know more about trading, this like just hearing, I was like, oh, this all makes sense now. But I didn't understand any of it when you were explaining
Yeah.
it years ago.
And I remember this is how I had got him into Apple and Microsoft and explaining this part.
Remember, all we used to do is just look at a Robinhood, and those would be our meetings.
Yeah.
Think what's the next fucking move?
But like, even if you look at, say, Lilly, Eli Lilly, that's another thing I was paying attention to before you got to my house. I was calculating which company from the start of the year to this moment that we're at has risen the most amount of points, and it's Eli Lilly. Eli Lilly has gone from, it was like 254 points from the beginning of the year, whereas the S&P 500 VOO, it moved like 123 points. Nvidia moved like 102. Apple moved like 60 something. and Microsoft had moved like 50, or it might be
Dude,
opposite.
what is your 300 now in Nvidia? What is it now? Because you got it at 108, right, or something?
Yeah, I'm
Fuck.
up $100 just on
Nice.
Nvidia.
That's sick.
So when it went down to 104,
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I got in at 108.
oh shit, I was able to convince some people to, some new timers. I was like, if you have $100, like I need you to just do
just
this right
put it
now.
in, yeah.
My brother's up 40 because he bought one at like 102. Well, last I checked, it was 140. I
From
don't
the
know.
bottom, dude.
Boom, like look at this company. This is Eli Lilly. This is the company that moved 223 points. It's at 831 right now.
Damn.
And when I seen it early, in January, it was like at 500, 400 or 500.
I remember what's his face was talking about this one.
Ian?
Ian.
Yeah. So look at the profit margin, 20%. That's already bigger than what Zoom was. Operating margin, 39%. Return on assets, 13%. That's more than what Zoom was. Return on equity, 65%. That's more than what Zoom was. Revenue, 40 billion. I don't remember Zoom's. EBITDA, 16 billion. Zoom was worth the million. So if they were to sell today, they're worth 16 billion. Total cash, they're sitting on 3 billion. Total debt, damn, 31 billion. That's kind of crazy.
Oh shit.
That's
Wait,
a
how does
trip.
that work?
I th- as a company, debt isn't bad. You just have to be able to pay it off. So like,
Cause they're getting debt to invest in themselves.
yeah,
right?
exactly.
So they better be making good profit.
That's a
margin.
crazy number though.
I know.
That
it's a
is,
crazy-
but it's also the medical field. So like,
Oh.
they have contracts. They don't really. It's not really the same as another business. Operating cash flow, 6 billion. So like, 31 billion is a lot, but they're sitting on 3 billion, and they bring in 3 billion. But they have to spend 1 billion. So they are paying their debt off because they're negative. They're not sitting on free cash flow right now.
Damn, 31 more billion to go. Fuck.
Whereas, let's see what Nvidia is. Trillion. I didn't even see this on
Oh,
the
yeah,
other
it's a
ones.
trillion-dollar company.
55% profit margin. Operating, 62. Return on assets, 55%.
$96 billion.
96 billion in revenue. If they sold today, 61 billion. Total cash, 34 billion. Total debt, 10 billion. Then operating cash flow, 48 million, and they have levered free cash flow, 33 billion. Yeah, this 10 billion is nothing to them.
So if levered, is levered or leverage?
It says levered.
So levered free cash flow, if it's negative, that means they're using it towards something.
Yeah,
Okay.
but what's a bad company?
Oh, go do Exela. I remember Crystal's ex fucking said something about that, and he made a bunch of money, or he made money when it rose, and he's like, I'm gonna hold it. And we were trying to tell him, dude, don't hold it. It's a shitty company, and I think they're gonna get delisted. Off
What
the
the
Nasdaq.
fuck?
We told him, dude.
He was in that group chat with us.
Well, we had a
Text chat.
text chat.
I
Yeah.
was in
Yeah,
one with
look
that.
at that.
Oh yeah, I think it was that one. Yeah.
Profit margin, they don't make any profit.
Yeah.
They're negative. Operating margin, negative. Return on assets, negative. Revenue, they make 1 billion, but they're negative on. If they sold today, 55 million. Total cash, 33 million. Total debt, 1 billion. That doesn't make sense at all.
And they only make 41.
They only have
40.
52 million.
52
What's
million.
it called? So a company can have these numbers that are like making us freak out and like laugh, but they could still have like, someone could have got in at a price that's good. Some reason they get some hype,
Yeah.
and their price goes up. But these can still be their numbers.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, because
I would
Ju-
have thought this immediately would have. I guess it's like all the dumb investors who don't know and they're just kind of riding away.
oh yeah,
I mean, that's pretty much what he was doing. He just saw it spike, and he just fucking entered, I guess, and he made money. Cause I guess it went to $5.
what's like a medium, like not crazy but decent.
Square.
Square. What do you
Didn't
Square.
they fall off?
It did fall
I'm
off.
actually scared to look at Square. Look how they
That was the
doing.
number one right there.
Profit margin 4.1%. Operating 5.6.
$7 billion
Return on
for the
assets.
Fuck.
Revenue 23 billion. Liquid sell for a billion. Total cash 8.8 billion. Total debt 7.4 billion.
They're doing good, man.
Levered free cash flow. This is just very close. Like you could
Yeah.
tell they're still building.
They're like barely scraping.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Ian had to do a whole episode where he apologized.
I
about
know.
it,
I
remember?
seen that.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
He was sold and he was always promoting it, and then he had like a whole episode where he's like, I gotta admit when I'm wrong.
No way.
And,
I
like,
didn't know
he
that.
was like, I think I might have been wrong, I swear.
I gotta see that album, man. Every time I see it, I put once in the tab.
Oh, my shit's gonna die.
But that's from the business.
Stop this.